My lover's got no money, he's got his strong beliefs. My lover's got no power, he's got his strong beliefs. My lover's got no fame, he's got his strong beliefs. My lover's got no money, he's got his strong beliefs. Want more and more, people just want more and more freedom and love. What he's looking for, freed from desire, mind and senses purified, freed from desire, mind and senses purified, freed from desire, mind and senses purified, freed from desire. Na 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 na.
Welcome to the showcase. This is where I interview entertainers because I believe people like to know all about entertainers and how they achieved their success. Please watch to the end, give a comment, leave a comment, click the thumbs up and subscribe for more great content. This session is my first and probably only DJ. I'd like to welcome Lee. How are you, Lee?
Hi, Sean. Yeah, I'm really well, thank you. Great to be here.
And thank you for coming on the showcase, Lee. We're going to talk about your career and how you got started. So would you like to tell the viewers a bit about you?
Yes, I've always said my name's Lee. I'm a DJ. It's my full-time living. I run my own company called Wedding Sounds, or WSDJ, as it's known. And that company's been going since about 2013. But in terms of actually starting as a DJ, I've been doing that for a lot longer. Before that, I did it as sort of more of a hobby. So I've done various things like bars, pubs, nightclubs. Then I've sort of embarked into mobile DJing. I prefer that really, sort of, working with people on a more sort of personal level. It's really worked well for me. But it's very much weddings that I specialise in now. For the last sort of few years, we've really grown, and there's myself, and I've also built a team of guys as well. So there's actually 4 of us in total.
That's awesome. Let's talk about your DJing experience. Do you use digital software, or do you use CDs, or what do you use?
Yeah, so now I use digital software. I called it a DJ program called Serato. Have you heard of that one?
Oh, that's unusual. Most people use virtual DJ.
So I have used virtual DJ in the past, but Serato is the one that I prefer and use now. The system that I have at the moment, it's called a Rain Performer. That's the controller that I use, which connects to the Serato software. The great thing about the Rain Performer is it's actually quite old school in a way, because it's actually got spinning platters, which is like vinyl. So it actually turns like a turntable used to do. And it has some excellent sort of details on there, because we can use, have you ever heard of stems? Is that something?
Yes.
Yeah. So it has all like the stem capability and things, which we use for like mixing and things, which is really, really good as well.
In your opinion, Lee, what makes a good DJ?
So a couple of things really. I think you have to have quite a bit of personality, quite a lot of high energy. I like to sort of, put a lot of energy into every job. I think that's really, really important, making sure that people are having an amazing time. If you see little video clips of me on my Instagram pages and stuff, you'll see that, if we're trying to get them to party and they've got these foam glow sticks that they use quite a lot now, I'll be there with one behind the DJ booth trying to, get them going, getting their hands in the air and stuff like that. So it's about having that bit of personality. But obviously understanding the crowd and the audience, that's the big thing as well, because you can imagine we do a lot of weddings. So there's a lot of different people at weddings. You've got your grandparents, you've got your children, you've got a various age group. So the most important thing with my job being a wedding DJ is understanding everybody and their music tastes. And I love music, all music. So, I can play music from 50s, 60s, all the way to present day music. And it's important to have, an understanding of everything when you're doing weddings, definitely.
And what sound system do you use, Lee?
So I use an Evolve system. It's called Evolve 50. They're like the sort of more modern speakers, shall we say. So they're actually like long
column.
thin. Yeah, the column, that's the word. That's the word I was thinking about. Yes, so they're long thin columns. So that's what we use in some venues, but There's a lot of venues that we do where they have built-in sound systems now as well. So we literally will just hook up to their sound system.
That's amazing. What part of the country are you DJing in, Lee?
So I live in Stafford, but literally whole of the Midlands area and beyond, to be honest with you. So we do a lot of venues around Staffordshire, West Midlands, Worcestershire, Shropshire, all the areas sort of around here. But believe it or not, we've also got bookings further afield than that as well. If people really want us, we are willing to travel pretty much anywhere in the UK. I mean, we talked before we come on this about Ben, the saxophonist, who you've also interviewed. Where we work a lot together, and we've got a booking together in Cornwall later this year. So we'll travel anywhere really.
It's awesome. And have you designed your equipment so it's kind of set up quickly, easily, and efficiently without disturbing anybody?
Yeah, it's fairly quick and easy setup. But the most important thing for me is making sure that it looks the part, because although obviously being a DJ, the most important thing is making sure that it sounds good and you're catering to everybody. We also, with a wedding, if you think about it, a lot of brides, they're really fussy on how things look at weddings. So they're going to make all their table decor look nice. They're going to be getting married in. We do some amazing venues, wonderful looking venues. So we sort of prioritize making sure that the setup looks great as well, because we've actually got various setups they can choose from. We do like a rustic style setup. So if they're getting married in like a barn venue, which a lot of couples are now, they can have like a rustic style setup to match, with neon signs of their choice on the front as well. We do more like of a white style wedding setup as well. So yeah, the most important thing for me is to make sure that it looks great for the bride and groom. But you do want it to be fairly quick, because you can imagine at the end of the night, the venue want you to go. So you got to be trying to be out of the venue in half an hour, 40 minutes if you can, really.
Wow. And do you travel alone, or do you have a roadie or something like that?
Well, I'm 40 myself, and I've actually got my son who's 18 now. And he comes along with me as a roadie quite a lot, so he helps. But also, as well as DJing at my company, Wedding Sounds, we also do photo booths and things as well. So as well as doing the DJing, my son who's 18, he'll come along and run the photo booth on the evening as well.
My God, double whammy then.
Double whammy, yeah. I mean, we
Yeah.
also do things like dance floors and things like that. Have you seen the LED dance floors?
Yeah. Are they popular?
Yeah, they're still quite popular. Yeah, not as popular as probably were sort of 5 years ago, but yeah, they're still quite popular.
That must take a lot of building up and taking down and things like that. Yeah,
it does, but we've got a knack to it, really. If I was doing it on my own, it would take too long. That's why I have to have somebody with me. As I say, my son's 18. He's probably been helping me for sort of a year or so. Before that, I've used other people to help with that. But yeah, my son, he does a fantastic job, and he's going to be the next generation. He wants to get into DJing and take over from me eventually.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So do you speak to the bride and groom prior to the wedding to ascertain what songs they want? And what would you do if somebody gave you a song list of only what they wanted playing? What would you do?
Okay, so the first question, obviously about speaking to them before. So we actually have a dedicated admin lady as well, that deals with everybody on email and things beforehand, and they can email her and ask questions at any time about anything. But also we would set up, calls with them beforehand, so they can speak to me or one of the other DJs that works with me if they're doing their job, just to get an understanding of what we're like and talk to them in person before. So, you've not just got a stranger turning up on the night sort of thing. So yeah, we're very much, very much like on hot with that. We want to make sure that people can speak to us. And the second question, what was the second question? Just about the playlist.
What would happen if the bride and groom said, "Here's a playlist. I don't want you to deviate. You must stick to those songs"?
I'll give you an honest answer with this. We prefer not to happen, because yes. I'll be honest with you. If people want to choose the music for the whole night, then why don't you just use Spotify? I know that sounds a bit horrible, but you know, you're booking a DJ for a reason. It's not just about choosing the music, it's expertise, understanding what works at the right moments. You know, you can't just have like, you know, going from ABBA to, I don't know, Stormzy. You know,
Yeah.
you've got to have a sort of a plan with that. If somebody really asks for that and they want to pay us to go and just stand there and just do their playlist, that's fine, you know. But what we like to do, and this is the actual proper answer, is we give people access to an online portal where they can actually request music and things beforehand to get an understanding of the vibe. It's actually called Creating Your Vibe, actually, this online portal. And with that, they can obviously choose the first dance. We also ask them to choose the second song to follow to start the party. We like to ask people to choose the last song of the night as well. And we also give them up to 25 what we call suggestions. So these 25 suggestions are just for us to get an understanding of what sort of music they want, you know, because that's really important. And then we can work with that to sort of make the vibe that they want, if that makes sense. You know, those 25 songs, we can sort of work with that and think, oh, you know, that song's going to work well with that, and that song's going to work with that. So we sort of are using our expertise to sort of add to the party and play songs similar to what they like. But the other thing is the do not plays. We do allow do not plays. So if there's certain sort of genres or certain songs they really don't want, they can add that to the do not play as well.
But what happens if somebody asks for it out of the audience? What do you say?
Oh, a do not. If somebody asks the audience asks for a do not play, we say it's on the ban list from the bride and groom, and we just show them because we have the paperwork in front of us. To be honest.
Oh, really? That can be uncomfortable sometimes. What do you do when nobody's dancing? How do you get them on the dance floor?
Do you know what we do? When we can. Obviously, we get on the microphone and encouraging people to get up on the dance floor. We change the music if we have to. If there's no one dancing, maybe because the music isn't working for the people who are there. So you know, we will do that. But there is sometimes, and we have to be honest with people. If it can be a really sunny day outside, it's 30 degrees. You know, they're at a lovely wedding venue, beautiful gardens outside. You know, sometimes there's not a lot you can do. You know.
No.
But you know, you do everything you can, and I think the most important thing really is to start the night with a bang. So what you find is with weddings now is you've got your first dance, but then what you need to do is you need to go into an absolute banger of a song to keep everyone on the dance floor afterwards. You'll find sort of in the middle of the night when the sort of buffet and things come out that you might find that, like, you know, it sort of goes down a little notch in terms of the energy, but then we build it back up for the second part of the night. So it's really about starting the night with a bang, getting everyone going for the first sort of hour. Then you might have a little break with the buffet sort of thing where you still have a few people dancing, you know, and then the end of the night, just putting that energy in and really sort of, you know, hitting them hard to keep them on the dance floor.
I like it. What do you call bangers then? What type of songs?
Bangers, yeah. I'm very much obviously I'm 40, so I sort of grew up in the 90s, early 2000s. I love my sort of dance house music, but I also I mean, I love all music. Look, I love anything. If I say Kistery style, does that make sense to you?
History.
Kistery, yeah. Does that make sense?
Not really.
No. Okay. So there's a radio station called Kistery.
Okay.
And that sort of plays sort of your club classics from your sort of 90s, 2000s, but also some of your R&B music. So more not like the sort of new stuff that's out now, more stuff from like you know, 1997 to sort of like 2010 kind of era, really. And there is new songs and old songs and that are bangers as well. I mean, it really does depend on the audience. Like I say,
Yeah.
you know, you might have, like I said before, you know, you might have grandparents there that want music from the 60s or 70s, and there's bangers from those eras as well. You know,
Yeah.
I say. I know I hate to bring ABBA up again, but it's still at nearly every wedding they're going to ask for ABBA and Dancing Queen. It's one of those songs that just it's
I'm
just
in
one
the
of
mood
those.
for dancing.
Yeah, I'm in the mood. That's it. The Nolans, yeah. and then you've got like September, Earth, Wind and
Yeah, yeah,
Fire, and all, there's some really great tunes from that era as well. So as I say, I
yeah.
love music from all era, but my
Ah,
actual bangers, as I say, are sort of like, you know, your club classics from your 90s, 2000s. So I love all that era, but that's simply because I sort of, you know, was brought up in that era. But also you've got to remember the brides and grooms that are getting married now. You know, they're sort of fairly young in their 20s, 30s, so that's their kind of era as well.
that's okay. What do you do when something goes wrong?
It doesn't ever go wrong.
Good.
No, it doesn't
Sod's
ever go.
law, it will do one day.
No, like I say, sometimes you know that I can't think of an occasion where I've ever had anything majorly go wrong. I mean, over the years, I've had something like where like a light's failed or something like that. Um, where we have sort of replacement things in the van. So if a light fails, we can put another light in. If we had a problem with like our laptop or decks, obviously it could easily happen. Then we have backup. You know, we have backup systems there to make sure that, you know, if anything does go wrong, we could easily swap things over. But touch wood, you know, that's not properly happened before.
So you cover everything to make the
Yeah,
bride and groom feel comfortable that you're the correct person for the job.
absolutely. I say it's good to have a chat with them beforehand, you know, just to, you know, get an understanding really of what they like, and we work with them, you know, to make sure that they're really comfortable with everything.
Do you prefer to get payment up front, or do you prefer to wait till the end of the night and then ask the bride and groom for the balance?
Oh no, no. See, this is the thing as well. We do not get payment on the night anymore. When I first started doing it as a hobby a few years ago, then that was fine. You know, you'd quite happily accept cash Sunday at the end of the night or whatever. To be fair, I never really had any problems. But I've got to be honest, these days, who wants to be carrying around at their wedding? Say they're getting married in a really posh venue. Who wants to be carrying, you know, hundreds of pounds in their pocket, you know, to give to the DJ? And there's nobody wants to do it. So we always actually take payment 1 month before their wedding. So we send them an invoice before, we accept bank transfer 1 month before their wedding.
Perfect.
That's how we do it, because I wouldn't feel comfortable accepting money off anybody. As much as I'd love to, I'm going to be totally honest. It'd be great to have
Yeah.
some more cash sometimes, but we can't, because I don't trust. You know, I do trust people, but not everybody.
No, I know what you
Yeah,
mean.
yeah.
I've experienced it, you know. And then at the end of the night, they probably had a few drinks and got maybe leave early, go to the room, forget all about you.
Exactly. It's not going to be their priority end of the night, is it? They're not going to think, oh, we
No,
need to pay the DJ.
no,
You know, it's just
no.
not.
No.
So
So, what about other events? Do you do corporate events?
yeah, we've done various corporate events. It's mainly weddings that I specialise in, but we've done various corporate events because we've got sort of. I've mentioned Wedding Sounds, which is the main company I'm talking about. But obviously, you've interviewed Ben, the saxophonist. I also is my business partner with what's called Jamming Events.
Uh-huh.
So Jamming Events, that is another company. It does do weddings a little bit as well, but that company sort of, as well as DJing, it specialises in live artists. So that's like saxophonists like Ben. We've also got bongo players, violinists, singers, various artists that can come and work with the DJ. So we do that as well. But we do corporate events like mainly sort of around Christmas time.
Well,
So last year I did quite a lot of corporate events, you know, for office parties and things like that, really. So that's quite busy in December. You do get the occasional other one throughout the year, but normally I'm so busy with weddings, that's the main thing that we do.
yeah, yeah. You know, the corporate side of it, you usually find big agencies dealing with the corporate side. Sometimes corporates don't contact you direct, do they?
No, that's right. That's right. I mean, I've had quite a lot where the hotels and things have contacted us, and we're working for the hotel and it's their corporate client, really.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah.
Do you offer karaoke and video DJ or anything like that?
No. I'll be honest. It's something that I find a bit cringy myself. I'll be honest.
Me too. Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Yeah, you can imagine being at somebody's wedding and you've got a terrible singer doing karaoke. It's not what you'd want, is it? Let's be honest.
So, do you flatly refuse if they ask you?
Oh yeah, we just don't have karaoke. Just don't do it.
Ah,
Yeah, no. Occasionally you're gonna get like a drunk groom or something that says, "Can I use your microphone?" No problem with that. Do you know what I mean? That's absolutely fine. Let him have a little sing, but it's not. We're not going to display words on a TV or anything.
No,
No.
no, no. I agree with you there. And can you look up to doing DJ, like video DJing and things like that?
I've done video DJing in the past, but I found personally there's not so much of a demand for it now.
No.
Because you imagine like people, are just dancing, enjoying themselves, having a few beers and whatever. They're not really paying attention to what's on the screen. It's all about the music and, getting that
Yeah.
atmosphere right with the music. The screens and videos really don't matter.
No, you're right. Does it take a lot of concentration to keep your tracks up to date? Do you find you have everything that you ever get requested for?
Yeah. So we've got a massive database. I've probably got like 100,000 songs on my hard drive or something. Yeah. So we've got so much music that's accumulated all over the years. And we still obviously have to download the new stuff. We have to buy it really as well from like places like Amazon or Apple, and buy the songs, new stuff. But there is other DJ portals that you can use and buy things as well now. So we use quite a lot of those. But the other thing is, if you have 100,000 songs on your hard drive and somebody asks for a song and you still haven't got it, there is Tidal. Have you heard of Tidal?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's just another streaming software like Spotify, which connects to Serato DJ. So
Wow.
worst case scenario, as long as you've got internet in the venue, you can put Tidal and you can just get any song really that's on Tidal. So
That's quite.
it's a long way different to what they used to do when they used to be carrying vinyls around, isn't it? Let's be
Oh,
honest.
tell me about it. You offer a very comprehensive service, which is excellent and very professional, may I say.
Thank you.
How do people contact you?
So people can contact obviously by telephone. People contact through email mainly, but also they do contact sometimes through social media. We get messages through Facebook and Instagram. Sometimes WhatsApp as well. People quite like using WhatsApp these days. So yeah, there's various ways of contacting us. But I say I do have an admin lady that is employed for us as well. Because if you can imagine, sometimes, believe it or not, Sean, I'm actually out. Sometimes can be 7 days a week. Sometimes, so especially in the peak season. So you imagine trying to deal with all the admin and emails from everybody, and you get a lot
Yeah.
of brides, that are asking you loads of questions. So that's why I have somebody that deals with that for us as well. I do some of it myself, but we do have somebody there to help with that.
I was asking mainly for the viewers that are going to be watching this. How would they find you
How,
on Facebook? Yeah.
on Facebook, so Wedding Sounds on Facebook, Wedding Sounds on Instagram. Got a TikTok account now, which is a bit different because we're sharing quite a lot of videos and stuff on TikTok. Funny videos. Started using recently a 360 GoPro camera, which captures the whole of the night. So what's good about that is you'll capture different parts of the night. Of people asking you for songs. You'll capture me mixing from track to track. And these are great videos that you can share and things on TikTok as well.
That's fantastic. Well, I'm sure that at the beginning of this video, people would have seen your professional video of you doing some events, and then there was some photos. I'd like to put your contact details at the end, so anybody who wants to contact you. Do you do anything abroad?
No, I've had inquiries to go abroad. Because obviously, I think obviously with Ben, you've seen how he's done places in
Yeah.
Cyprus, on saxophonist recently. We've had inquiries for like Italy and Dubai, but I'll be honest with you, when we put the quotes in, I think they're really probably they just sort of blow people out because obviously if we're going to go abroad, we're going to have to quote people for hotels and flights and things like that. So it just puts our prices up probably out of people's reach. So a lot of the time people are using DJs that are already there in that country, to be honest.
Yeah, I understand. It makes sense.
Yeah.
There's no package like you and Ben, is there?
No, do you know what? We've been working together for probably before COVID. We've known each other for quite a few years now, and do you know the DJ with the saxophone together is
Yeah.
amazing. Have you
It
been to
is.
an event where you've done the DJ and
I haven't.
saxophone?
I've only watched Ben's events, which are awesome.
Yeah, so the saxophone, it really adds a lot more energy to it as well. So I always recommend to anybody, if you want to sort of, have the unlimited playlist of a DJ, but also have a little bit of live music, then a DJ
Yeah.
and sax is brilliant. I mean, a lot of the time with DJ and sax, a lot of people go for sort of Ibiza sort of style anthems, but
Yeah.
we did a wedding the other day, and you'll probably like this. They were asking for some more sort of like 70s, 80s sort of vibes with the sax. So I put Baker Street on for Ben, and
Oh,
you da-na-na-na-na-na.
yeah.
So there was Ben doing Baker Street the other day. It was quite good, but the audience were up for that. That was their sort of thing. So it worked really, really well. And because with the controller I use, like I mentioned earlier, the Rain Performer, you can take the stems out. What I could do with that song is I could actually take the saxophone by just pressing a button on my controller. I could take the saxophone out of Baker Street, so all you could hear was Ben's saxophone instead of the actual saxophone in the song.
Wow.
Yeah, so that worked really well.
Yeah, yeah. There's some great sax songs, but we're not going to get into those. Anyway, it's been an absolute pleasure, Lee, talking to such a professional. And I can even tell by your demeanor that, everything you do on behalf of the clients, which is the most important point, because there's plenty of 60 quid DJs out there. And
Yeah,
there are
we
some
call them
professional
SIDS.
DJs.
We call them SIDS, the 60 quid
Yeah,
SIDS. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no. So yeah, thank you very much for that. Honestly, I really appreciate your comments on that.
It makes a big difference. You have a 60 quid SID or you have a professional, and you'll never forget your venue. If you have a 60 quid SID, you'll never forget your venue as well. But in the
That that
wrong
is so
way.
true. Honestly, do you know what? The one last point I'll say here is I feel so sorry for some couples, because if you can imagine, a lot of people have never booked a DJ in their life before. So
Yes,
some
yeah,
people really do not know the difference sometimes between booking a
no,
professional and a cheap one. And I think, how come that guy is so much cheaper than that guy? But they
yeah,
won't realize until the night
yeah.
that the big difference. So if you are booking a DJ, just a tip for everybody. I'm not saying come and book me, but if you are booking any DJ, do your research. It's really important.
It is.
Yeah.
Those are wise words. And I also say that what I can't understand is that you get a bride and groom that'll pay extortionate amount of money for a venue, food, people to come, free wine, free beer, and they have a 60 quid SID.
Do you know, I've had like dance floor bookings where they've not booked us to DJ, but they just wanted to hire our LED dance floor. I've turned up, put the dance floor in, and I've looked at the DJ, and I'm thinking, oh my God, it's just a cloth over a table.
Yeah.
You paid me £400 just to put a dance floor in, and you're paying
Yeah.
50 quid for the DJ.
Yeah,
Why
it doesn't
wouldn't you
make
spend that?
sense.
Should have spent that money on the DJ, not the dance floor. I'm like, oh, yeah. So,
Well,
yeah.
these things happen. It's life. It's life. Well, Lee, it's been absolutely great talking to you, and you've shed some really good light on the DJ world, which is very important for people who are planning their future events, even corporate events and things like that. And we interviewed Ben, which is a friend of yours that you work together with, an absolutely first-class saxophone player. DJ and saxophone, they work together perfectly. If you'd like to book them, contact Lee. I'll have his details on here. Last word from you, Lee.
Yeah, just thank you for listening, everybody, and obviously really appreciate the opportunity, Sean, to come on. You've got a great podcast,
Thank
so
you.
really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Sorry I was a bit unprepared today.
Oh no, 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 no! These things happen. Honestly, don't worry
Yeah.
about it. It's brilliant.
It's been a real pleasure. Thank you very much. So the audience, please watch all the way through. If you want to contact Lee, details will be on here. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Thanks, Sean. Thank you.